Is there a way to get around mandatory sentencing? Attorney Randall Haas explains that the one way to get around the mandatories is to get the prosecutor to waive the mandatory minimum. That's something that's in their discretion, of course. The prosecutor doesn't have to do that. If the person proceeds at trial and challenges the charges and takes advantage of his constitutional right to have a trial by jury and loses, that's it. Often, the judge has to impose the mandatory. The only time the judge doesn't impose the mandatory is if the defendant is under the age of 21 years. Not only at the time the crime is committed, but he also has to be under 21 at the time of sentencing. However, there are certain restrictions on that as well. If it's a life felony, the judge cannot impose what are called youthful offender sanctions that take the individual out of the mandatories. That's where the 21 years of age comes in. If the individual was under the age of 21 at the time of sentencing, for most crimes, the judge can get around the mandatory minimums. However, if you commit the crime when you're 18 and 3 years later you go to court and resolve the case, it doesn't matter how old you were when you committed the crime. If you're 21 on the day of sentencing, then you no longer have available to you the youthful offender sanctions, and you must receive the mandatory minimum. For a free phone consultation, contact Attorney Randall Haas in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at 954-256-8327 or visit his website at www.fortlauderdalecriminaldefenselawyer.us.